Counselor. Dr. J. Counselor. Dr. J. Counselor. Dr. J. Counselor. Dr. J. Counselor. You matter. You matter. You matter. You matter.
Hey family, this is your boy Dr. J, and welcome to Do I Want to Stay Married? Man, I'm so excited today to be on this amazing show. Of course, rolling with this wonderful queen of mine, Lady J. That's called a Let's Be Clear Queen. But we're having a hot show for you tonight, man. This is an amazing one. It's Heels and Boots, guys. And I'm excited because it's by popular demand. We did this on radio about a year ago, and the people wanted it back and said, listen, let's further this discussion about Heels and Boots. And it's a special edition tonight. So, gentlemen, you can peek in, listen to it, but it's ladies only. I'm the only man in the house, but I promise you, not really much part of the show. I'm here really to mediate and kind of referee the situation, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to have a little ear hustle going on too, guys, so don't even worry about it. But this Heels and Boots things, man, is really strategic because women are strong. Yes, they are. And they've been strong for a long time. But they are now called this new saying, boss babies. And boss babies is about women who now have traded in the stilettos and putting on the Timberlands. You know what I'm saying? They even got these Coach boots. You see them, y'all. It's a semi-shoe, and it is also a boot. Because they say, listen, if we got to hold it down, if we have to do what we have to do, we can do that. But then you also got some great women out there that are saying, listen, I'm actually in a relationship or I'm in a marriage, and if my man is struggling or something's going on or whatever, hey, listen, I don't complain. I'm going to boot up, and I'm going to make sure that we hold it together. But then you also got this type of hybrid, I call it, out there. These new women, man. I ain't going to say it's just the millennials, but it's some women out there that say, listen, man, independent of anybody, all by myself, I'm a boss. I wear the boots and I wear the heels. The question of it is for our spiritual folks, are you willing to put on the boot to go to warfare for your man, for your household, for your own life? But then there's some individuals that say, you know what happens when Superwoman meets Clark Kent and not Superman? Are you willing to wear the boot in a relationship if you've ended up with a weak man? See, now we're going to have some real transparent discussions. And who else better to do it with than this wonderful lady by my side, Lady J. What's poppin', baby?
Look, Doc, I think you just kind of checkboxed all of the categories. I am absolutely ready to get into the whole heels and boots conversation, I think. But I want to first say to all of our listeners and followers all over this country, I salute. We were on Fox Soul last week. And guess what? We were having dialogue. And it was so funny because Dr. Sean was so ready to dig in to this marriage of 17 years. So I really did enjoy having that moment. Because guess what? People want transparency. And then kudos to this amazing husband of mine. He was featured on the front page of LA Mix in Hollywood, which is such a big deal. I mean, you've been all over doing so many amazing things. So I'm going to get to who wearing the boots and the heels in this house in a minute.
Thing about it, listen, man, I'm gonna say my little comments, but listen, you can wear the heels and the boots because guess what? Let me give you some kudos too. Is that you have an amazing show, Never Too Busy to Pray. You do it every Friday, and I want to tell every woman out there, since we having ladies' night tonight, listen, on Friday, I don't want to hear a mess about your busy because guess what? It's called Never Too Busy to Pray. It's where you guys take 15 minutes every Friday and you stop and pray, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful that men have started to pop on the show, which is crazy. And women are just praying, man, and just your Diamond of the Weekend empowerment is just such an amazing movement. And so it's not just a streaming, it's a movement that's bringing women from all around the world together. They're saying, listen, let's stop wherever we are, whether we're at work, whether we're with the kids or whatever. Let me stop and just honor God and let me just believe something great in my life. And you're leading that, and I really appreciate that. That's awesome to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the kudos. Look, from my manager. He manages the Lady J brand. But I know we're going to dig in tonight because there are
Heels and
women.
boots. It's gonna
Heels
be a
and
hot one.
boots.
Let me
I'm
make sure that
excited.
you understand. Listen, not only is this show a hot, but you can catch all the episodes of Do I Want to Stay Married, which is ultimately, don't get it twisted, it's a marriage show, man, but we navigate the waters of just relationships. So be that you're single, be that you want a man, want a woman, maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you don't like them at all. I don't really know. This is the show to watch because we talk about it all. We go all the way from child support to just straight up, you ain't getting no support. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you watch the additional episodes. You can go on to kjlhradio.com and free TV, and you'll be able to view many of the episodes that have been on there and see also our celebrity Black Book guests, man. I mean, like Kenny Lattimore and so many others. So it's a great dynamic. The great Stevie Wonder owns that radio and TV station. So make sure you check that out. But then you also can go out to our additional podcast platforms on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music and Google Podcasts, man. And just at the end of the day, make sure you just Google Do I Want to Stay Married? Google Dr. J the Counselor. I can guarantee you can find an amazing show. So it'd be hot ones. But without further ado, man, listen, now I am rolling with my girl, and y'all know she already put it on us, man. But I got the one and only guy, sophisticated Sheila. That tribe, you know what I mean? I don't know how they gonna do us tonight, but I'm gonna show dig into that tribe. I'm gonna beat that drum tonight, baby. You best believe. Sheila D, what's going on?
Hey, Dr. J, Lady J, listen, I have been chomping at the bit, sharpening my knives. This is a show that I couldn't wait to get to. Yeah, the Tribe Vibe, we definitely talk. They have weighed in. There's an anthem that we all know. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything. I do it naturally. The Tribe has got something to say about that tonight. Buckle up.
All right. And then quite naturally, man, we got the young millennials in the house, y'all. This young lady got a whole lot to say, guys, but she said articulated and right. Miss Sierra, what's going on?
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Dr. J. Hi, Lady J. I am excited. Boots or heels? Boots and heels? Maybe both at the same time? Who knows? Let's
You know
see.
what I'm saying? Quick switch. They all look good on you, girl. It's so good to have you on the show, and we're going to dig into this thing. And then the Cuba's right, guys. You know what I'm saying? She slid in here like the 5 heartbeats. She's literally inside of the studio. We got the one and only, y'all, Pastor D. Dixon. What's going on, D?
Dr. J, Lady J, I'm on channel my inner bishop tonight.
Come on. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got you.
Girl, he said he married to the backsliders, girl. We gonna slide a little bit. But listen, man, this thing called heels and boots. Okay, here it is, ladies. The first thing that we gotta do, before y'all just jump all out there and everything, I need you guys, from your perspectives and element, and we're calling you out tonight. Please define for us, because there's so many women that are growing up, don't have mothers or don't have guardians and things of that nature. Please define for me, in your perspective, what does it mean to be a strong woman? Whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're a mother or not, what is the definition in your mindset of a strong woman?
What it means to be a strong woman is to be resilient. It really means that no matter what comes, no matter what happens, you are able to weather the storm. Whatever your footwear looks like, be able to dig those in the gravel, in the ground, and withstand it for whatever is dependent upon you, literally. So,
All right, you came loaded. I see you. All right, Sheila.
She is a leader. She is not just a queen, but she leads. And let me just tell you something about that. Not only does she lead, but she motivates her troop, her family to follow suit. It's not just about motivating, because there's an art to that. That means that she knows how to get them to do what they don't even know they need to do because they want to do it. She's that savvy. So she's a leader, not just a queen. She knows how to lead. That is a strong woman right there.
All right, Pastor.
She bends and don't break. She pushes gently and people to where they need to go. So she supports them.
I got you, Pastor Lady J. Let's go.
Look here,
Define
Doc.
this strong woman.
Look here. First of all, I absolutely agree with all of my sisters that it really is a combination of all of those personalities. At the end of the day, I think that every woman has to define what strength means to her, because sometimes for some women, strength is being silent. when they want to talk. To some women, strength is taking the lead and jumping in and getting her done. I think for me specifically, is being strong is being strong enough to obey God, and I mean that in every fashion. Because sometimes it's a moment for me to dive in. Sometimes He will say, "Sit your behind down and be quiet." Sometimes He'll say, "Do the gentle push." So I think that strength for me as a woman is about just yielding myself, dying to myself, and being able to follow and want to hear what that looks like so that I can change positions when necessary.
Okay, so let me throw something at you guys real quick, okay? I think all great answers, I think all real, so true. However, do you guys believe that be that the women that you're around, different circles, experience life, everybody in here got different dynamics of which they dwell or what have you. Do you believe that all women or most women have the same perspective of what it means to be a strong woman?
I don't believe so. And I think that I really just kind of said that I think that everybody has a different definition of that, because at the end of the day, a lot of it, and we talk about this a lot, is about upbringing. So, on Fox Soul, I just literally had to tell the whole world I was raised where it was, you got it together, be strong, you don't need a man, you can do it, which was, God rest my grandmother's soul, but that was garbage. But, at the end of the day. So I think that it really is about the culture in which you were raised, because you take direction. When you're looking at what you call a strong woman, you're really taking her lead. So when whoever that was, whether it's your mom or whether it was your grandmother or auntie or whoever that person was that you looked up to, typically you kind of take on their persona.
Okay, Pastor, what you said.
I say for me, it was my father passed when I was young. So and then house full of women, grandmother, mother, getting it done. I only saw strong women. So it was you do whatever was necessary to get that job done.
Got you.
You took on, you hurt, you didn't necessarily cry, you just kept pushing until the job was done.
This is so good because I want us to understand we have different dynamic of women that are out there, and that's why these perspectives are great. Sarah and Sheila, chime in on this. Sarah, what do you think about this?
Well, believe it or not, I actually resented and still do sort of being called strong. It's not one of my favorite traits to be called. Although there's great strength in it, it's not necessarily how I choose to be perceived. For me, strong happened because there wasn't another option. So you can buckle, you can just sit there, but that isn't how the trajectory of my life has happened. So there's no option. So strong is just what is.
Yeah, and sometimes can come in different dynamics of life of why it gets produced.
Good.
Sheila, what do you say there?
I come from a completely different perspective. I had a strong role model, a lot of strong role models, first ladies and, pastors' wives and that kind of thing. But all of them had something in common. They were watchful and they prayed. They just sat in the cut, watch and pray. And I agree with Sis Taj, because Lady J came with that, know when to be silent. I think that's something that all women actually have the capability of doing. We are very good at watching and looking forward in the distance to see what's coming at us.
My question is, from a male perspective, why is it that you find, and here's a statistic now, statistics says that, here it is now, that in a relationship, more than 75% of strong women, weak men are attracted to them and they end up with a weak man. And like you said, lady, that what your grandma did, well, guess what? I don't know if it's your grandma still doing it, but there's women out there saying, listen, I don't need no man. I don't need nobody to take care of me. I'm independent. I'm strong. Do you think they know what they're saying? And do you think they're believing or perceiving what you guys are saying in that perspective of what strength means? Or do they have something else in mind as a woman?
I think that they definitely potentially could have something in mind, but you challenged us, in the pre-show, and let me just keep it real. A lot of people say that, but they really are thirsty and hungry for a relationship. That is something that I discovered because I would listen to that, but then later on down the line, you see I'm having a nervous breakdown. I'm like, but I thought she was strong at the end of the day, because technically most people want to be in a relationship. And I'm not saying that there's no woman out there that haven't concluded that, hey, that's not for me, but that ratio or that percentage is low. I think that there's this portrayal because it's about imagery for women. So it's about putting on, you know what, I got it together. I'm well put together. You know, if I don't want to show weakness. And so for most women, it's not about that they're really so freaking strong. A lot of it is that they're really weak, but it's a means to cover up and try to survive at the end of the day.
Guys, we're going to go to commercial, but when we come back, we're going to hear from the tribe and about this thing, you know, heels and boots. We're going to talk about it. We'll be right back.
From the barbershop to the courthouse to in your house.
The voice is giving you the real scoop, straight from the street.
I love God, but God is still working on me.
He says he's keeping it 100.
You be the judge.
Here's your boy, KD, representing the people's voice.
Listen, man, that's right. We just played The Voice, guys, but guess what? We ain't in them streets tonight. But we got the sophisticated Sheila because we're doing a special edition tonight. Is ladies only in heels and boots. And here we are, Sheila. Heels and boots, man. The strength is strong. What the tribe got to say tonight?
Oh, Doc, lady, the tribe have some serious things to say. Let me just tell you this. There is a song that all of you that are listening need to listen to tonight. It was by Nancy Sinatra. She said, these boots are made for walking, and that's what they're going to do. And one of these days, these boots are going to walk all over you. She said, you keep lying when you ought to be truthing, and you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be changing now what is right, but you ain't been right yet. So it's not that we don't want that relationship. I agree, we do want that. But according to the tribe, there's a lot of perpetration going on. There's a lot of representatives out there that are showing up. But then when it's time to really put the pedal to the metal, the representative's gone. I've yet to see a man look at a bike and a motorcycle and choose the bike. They want the shiny chrome, they want all that good stuff. But when it comes time to ride, they don't know how to ride it. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even know how to turn it on. So come on, let's get real. The tribe says, let's get real. Stop perpetrating. If you want the big bike, you need to know how to handle the big bike. If you don't, we have to ride off in the sunset. Sometimes it just happens like that. It just is what it is. That's from the tribe. That's the tribe.
I absolutely.
Hey, Sheila, what they say?
love it.
Girl. My question is, in your perspective, is what type of man do you believe is attracted to these strong women?
I'm really about to say, I plead the fifth because I think this could really go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I absolutely believe that it's kind of like a taboo. I think that there's an initial attraction because at the end of the day, he necessarily wants someone who's vibing with him, and so he's looking for something that's not a weak link. The reason why I said this could go south is I believe that just from around the way, when the girls get around the table and have tea and or a glass of wine, the real truth is like, I don't understand because he enjoyed my strength in the beginning. But then once I start being the woman that I was when he met me, now he's intimidated, and he's struggling with his own self. And it's like, dude, nothing about me was weak when you met me. So I think men struggle with what they want. They want this strong woman. However, they want us to click in and be like subservient day two. I think men need to decide. I know you're just here spectating and
Girl, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just a fly on the wall watching. I keep all my opinions to myself. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for letting me share in this event. Pastor, do you believe that the strong men are attractive to strong women?
I agree with Lady. I believe it's an initial attraction.
Mm-hmm.
But in any relationship where, the magnets attract, they're gonna detract at some point in time, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the very thing that they were attracted to becomes the very thing that they hate about you later.
Okay. We're gonna talk about that. Okay.
It's a fact.
All right.
It's
Sarah.
a fact.
I have to say no. From what I've seen, what I've experienced, no. They are attracted. We have to put the little disclaimer, not all of them fit this category. But from what I've seen, the weaker men seem to be attracted to the stronger women because they can hide under them. They can use them as building blocks to get further, to kind of take the attention off of what they lack, what they don't have. So the weaker men, from what I've experienced, have been more attracted to the stronger women. Stronger men, they want someone to just fill in those gaps where they may just lack. And a stronger woman can't really do that because she comes with her own shine, her own movement within herself. So I think that a lot of the stronger men who I've encountered, who I know as my friends, they choose the weaker, not as stronger women, should I say. And then once they kind of warn that out, then they go to a stronger woman. I think it's the opposite of what Lady J and Pastor were saying. I think they initially go after that, but it doesn't work. So then they end up with a stronger woman.
Heard. Got you. Sheila, what do you say?
I'm going to have to disagree with my sisters here. I do think that it is possible for a strong man to be with a strong woman. The goal is you have to identify your roles in your separate identities. You can be strong. If you take, for example, the lion and the lioness, they know their roles. That lion is there to protect the pride, period. The lioness, however, is the hunter. She goes out and she knows her role very well. So as long you can't get much stronger. You get talking about the king of the jungle. So I think it is possible with a strong male to be with a strong female, but they both must know their roles. And I'll even go further, their place. They're supposed to complement each other. So I have to say it is definitely possible. And when it works, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
My question is, I want to give you guys a scenario that I just recently dealt with a couple in marriage counseling. The situation is this, okay? They both are strong individuals, especially in the beginning. Some traumatic things have happened in life, or what have you, with the gentleman, and he's also lost a job, just took some financial hits, just really struggling within himself. In conjunction to that, along the way, we are patching up some things that the normal things that happen in a relationship that they've poorly handled that has impacted them. My question is this, though. She, because she's strong, has changed out her stilettos and have put the boots on. Okay? She's carrying the household. Okay? Not only just mentally, psychologically, in prayer, because she's the only one churching it up, believing. He's just there. But she's also financially carrying it as well. My question is to the four of you guys, and I'm going to start with Pastor, okay, is it's okay, I guess, day one. It's okay, day 60. It may be even okay, 6 months. Okay, it's a new year. 3 years have passed, and she's still wearing the boots. Now, she didn't mind wearing the boots. My question is, as a strong woman, but who ultimately desire a relationship and know the dynamics of it, are you willing to stay in a relationship that the very boots you've put on, are you willing that if he never put the boots back on, will you remain carrying it to the day Jesus come back? Pastor.
I would say he still has his boots on.
Okay.
And she puts on her boots.
Okay.
It doesn't take away from his boots.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are say in a marriage, you're helping each other, okay, right? If he never is able to do that because life is hit hard, job situation, but you already knew what type of man you had before on day 1 and day 20 and day 30, mm-hmm, right? Okay. So it is your responsibility as a wife, if you want to be there, or a spouse, to assist, to help. Okay. And we have more opportunities today sometimes than our partners, our men, our husbands, to make more money, right? So as long as, what is he contributing? It may not be the income, Is he holding it down at home, taking care of the children? Maybe y'all dynamics change. You make an agreement that, okay, hun, my business closed. I'll be the stay-at-home parent and with the children and make sure everything is good. And you work, but you don't have to do anything else when you come home. Okay. You know, so what is he doing? Because the way you sound, like if he's doing nothing, then yeah, she's gonna get tired.
Okay.
Absolutely.
His personal situation is he's in a deficit because he's spiraling out of control. Not literally, no substance abuse, none of those things of that nature, what have you. He's just in a form of depression. He just took a hit. He's just never recovered. You know what I mean? So they're functioning. He's just not alive. He's there. He's present physically, but he's not present.
So the bad times.
Yeah.
So in the bad times, you have to keep holding it down, right? Okay. This is what we committed to doing with each other, through good, through bad, through ugly, through whatever. And God have a way of making sure she's okay. Okay. Until he gets it together.
Okay.
Because if we go back, if I pull up Bishop, we go back to Genesis 2:18, and God said it's not good for the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet, right? Mm-hmm. If you are that suitable person, you are made for him, then you're going to understand that.
Suitable.
I
heard you.
Suitable.
Suitable.
I think that's absolutely
suitable.
Correct.
You better be suitable.
Absolutely.
So let me go with another angle here. My single ladies, you know what I'm saying? Give some perspective on this from a single perspective. Now, marriage, I got it. We on a vow. I got it. Right. Now, single and dating, you know what I'm saying? In a relationship, it look like a long term. Here you go. You like him too. And let's just go ahead and throw a little nugget in there, a caveat. And the sex good. I ain't saying you should be sitting, but let me just say, I want to make sure that everybody can potentially find themselves in this world based on where they walk is in life. But baby, at some point, come on to church, okay? Come on. But at the end of the day, you like him. It's there. But there's a deficit there. I mean, like literally, you Superwoman, and you have literally, this brother done took off his cape. He ain't Superman right now. He Clark Kent. And he's been there for a while.
Okay. So now that you've taken the caveat off about being married, because, that's do or die right there. So the way that I look at it, just paint a picture. When you wear boots, they are designed to weather whatever the storm is that is happening around. They have been specifically designed underneath the sole of them, under the bottom of them, to kind of stick in the sand and to handle it, right? So it's, Dr. J, you said he's just existing. So if this man is just existing, he no longer has on boots and I'm wearing them. Eventually, it's going to get to a point where I've worn them so long, my feet no longer fit in my stilettos. And that's going to be a problem for me. My feet have now conformed to these boots. And as a woman, I'm always going to desire the femininity of being a woman, of wearing my stilettos. And if you have me wearing these boots for too long, I mean, I've experienced it in my own life where, I didn't move down here, didn't wear my heels no more. I went back a year later, they didn't fit the way that they used to fit. So that's going to be a problem. So for me, no. The minute that those boots start conforming to my foot and they start working too well, and I don't even go to look at my shoes, they're collecting dust, my heels, I can't keep those boots on anymore.
Okay. Sheila?
I love it. Listen, I agree with my sister. We can wear the boots and we can wear the stilettos. But, it comes a certain time, especially the single sisters. Listen, as soon as your feet start hurting and he's not willing to rub them, it's time to pick up the boots and pick up the heels. Okay. And hopefully there'll be another somewhere coming that will actually carry you for a little while. So if he's willing to do all that and I come home and I feel like I'm in a spa, man, and he's got it already, great. But if he's just fading out, I can't fade into black. No single woman should. Don't let him take your shine. Pick up the boots, pick up the stilettos. Thank you very kindly, and make an exit. You can't walk down the aisle in boots anyway.
Guys, listen, we got to bring up the monogamy, man. Listen, it's a powerful show, powerful topic. They ain't going to show us no mercy, fellas. So it's time for our Let's Be Clear Queen. It's time for our Let's Be Clear moment. So when we come back, we're going to hear from the one and only Lady J. We'll be right back.
Let's be clear with Lady J. Ladies, it's our Let's Be Clear moment. You are amazing. You are powerful. Let's be clear. You are a daughter of the Most High God. It's your girl, Lady J.
Look here, it's your girl, Lady J. This topic is so darn fire. At the end of the day, you guys see the illustration, the difference between heels and boots. And Dr. J, the counselor, is throwing jabs at us. But I wanna clear it up for just a moment and put everything into perspective. There's a song that I absolutely love, and it's called Just the Way You Are. And I often say that marriage, relationship is for grown folks. There's a disclaimer. You should read the fine print. And you need to find someone who can love you just the way you are. And I remember being a marriage counselor with Doc, and my pastor asked me, he said, I'm going to ask this question and walk out of the room. And this is between the two of you all. You need to answer this question. If this person never changes, if Lady never changes and Doc never changes, can you all stay together? That sounds like loving that person just the way they are. I think that we have to come to a place where instead of trying to fix and create and customize, that we pray and find someone that we can love just the way that they are. When you have to change up, if you like wearing boots, some people call that sexy, wear your boots. Some people want to be the strong person. If you want to put on stilettos, put on stilettos, but find someone that can respect and love you just the way you are. That's my Let's Be Clear, Mom and Dr. J.
You punched this girl. I hear you. So for every lady that like wearing their boots. So I love it. I think it's awesome. Well, you know what I mean? So, guys, okay, so let's dig back in. Question for you guys. Okay, because I got more. So, ladies, all right, so this is a spiritual question, kind of. You know what I mean? So put your church sandals for a second, because we got some sanctified women, too. Okay, my question is, spiritually, in your faith, in your belief, and let's say you do the right thing by making him, hear the word, feel like he's the man. At what point do he need to become what you're trying to make him feel like? Lady J?
Doc, let's be clear. At the end of the day,
Stroke my ego, baby.
First of all, let me just put it on
I know
national
you ain't the one.
display.
She gonna stroke my ego. I'm glad I ain't got low self-esteem.
I do stroke your ego if you need it, but listen to me
Girl,
here.
if I went and start playing the PlayStation, you might throw the PlayStation out. You know what I'm saying?
I would, because you know what? In all truth, I was just going to say, for me personally, I just don't like no weak man. But we could understand why. There's just nothing about that turns me on, period. I did tell everybody today how strong you are. My sister Sheila and the tribe cleared that deck. You and I make music together because guess what? As strong as I am, I know when to sit my behind down and I know when to respond and to be respectful. And hear me clearly, but you give me every good reason to. And someone asked me that today. They was like, but that's because you have a man who you can trust to lead you. So I think while we just gonna take it all off, there's a difference between me loving on some man and he needs a moment to process and to become versus that he's just settling in being weak, settling in not having any ambition, settling in not being motivated. I just don't even find any comfort at all in any longevity to
But
that.
haven't you guys ever met a man, to be honest with you, let's say he's a good-looking man. I mean, you know, and let's give a caveat, and love God genuinely, and a gentle soul. Just ain't got no motivation, though. You know what I'm saying? Just ain't motivated. He might be even good at sex, just ain't motivated. You know what I'm saying? He just do not have a boot. He just don't.
Doc.
He ain't wearing stiletto. He's kind.
Doc.
What have you? Nah.
Doc, no, Doc, I want to challenge you, and I want you to keep it real. The reality of it is,
I'm just a referee.
I know you're a referee, but I want you to catch this visual. So I got my pom-poms out, 30 days, okay? Breast up, butt out, pom-pom, ponytail, pom-pom, 60 days, pom-pom, 6 months, pom-pom, a year. Arms dropping, okay? I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Even if it's your desire, after a period of time, you're going to get comfortable. You're going to be not motivated yourself. It's just bad business for everybody. I can't wait to see what everybody else got to say.
All right. Sheila, come on.
Gotta gotta go. No, I can't. I'm tired. Listen to that. I couldn't go over the pom pom. Sis, that was brilliant because at a certain time, you got to throw those pom poms down because you just can't do it anymore. If you keep doing it, then you're faking it at that point. And then it becomes resentment at that point. So you're not doing anybody any good at that point. I think that it is important to support and uplift as long as you can, but there's got to be give and take. And I love the story of Abigail. You know, she had a doozy for a husband. Woo! But she waited it out and she used wisdom. She supported, but she used wisdom. And guess who came riding in the sunset? David. Hey, listen, there's a light at the end of the rainbow. Right? You know, support as long as you can. When you're married, you got to ride or die. But when you're single ladies, pom-poms down, exit stage left.
All right, Sierra, single ladies, let's go.
She actually said what I was thinking. You know, men are always looking for that ride or die chick. But I'm a little different. I got questions. Where are we riding to? Because no, the lack of ambition, that's not going to work for me. That's not going to be a legacy that I'm going to build with any person, you know, because one of us is going to have to bend. You know, you can't be the head of my household with no ambition, no motivation. What would that mean for me, our children, our future? No, I'm not riding into a box with you. That won't happen.
This is good stuff. Pastor, let me throw this at you. As a pastor, my question is, this not even about, I want to put married folks to the side for a second, just talk to just the single women. You have so many in your church, the women that you see or what have you. What do you tell those single women they're out here trying to navigate this water? They're dating. And I've seen some women, and I know you've encountered them, they've been with these young boys, dating them. They're time to be, dating 2 and 3 years, what have you. And that man ain't still motivated. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They be young too, though. I've seen where the women got 2 jobs and the man trying to figure it out. How she get 2 and you still trying to figure out the one? What do you tell these young ladies to be able to be transparent and honest about some direction for these ladies?
Just share my story. Basically, if you believe in God for the best, that doesn't sound like the best to me. If you believe in and trust in God to give you the husband of your dreams, that doesn't sound like that to me. And they have to be honest with themselves. Like you said, when Superwoman meets Clark Kent, she knows he's Clark Kent. Mm-hmm. So you get exactly what you know you're getting. And you have to accept that. But when you're single, you need to just be watchful and mindful and know that if he never changes, he may never change. Why would you put yourself in that? You're giving your best. They need to come with their best.
We dealt with it early on. We talked about the fact that it really depends on your upbringing and what or who your influence was. But I still take a look at this, and I just want to say this, and I'm very grateful for every platform. Doc just named them all. We're all over the country. Do I want to stay married? But people love our show because it's real and it's uncensored. You got to be real mindful about what it is that you see on TV. And you got to be mindful because at the end of the day, some of the women that's talking about they bossing up, look at their backdrop, right? And guess what? You said it, Doc. Most of them are by themselves. So if being by yourself looks attractive, then I think that roll with it. And I do want to say this because I want to rep God. You, at some point as a woman, you have to determine if you are a woman that's virtuous or a woman who loves God, a woman who's a seeker of God. Because what I do know, the Bible says that a wise woman builds her house and a foolish woman tears hers down with her own hands. So some man might be excited, baby, boss up, and I'll be at home being the chef. I know people like that, and there's no qualms. But if that's tearing him down, then you need to reposition what your posture is. My goal in this union is to be what you need me to be, not to be what I gotta be. That's what submission is. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna fall back. It was T.D. Jakes' wife who said it best. Submission is me knowing that I could do one thing, but yielding my own will and surrendering it to your desires and your vision willingly. And so it's not being weak. It's not being coward. It's saying, I know I'm strong. I love it. I know I'm strong. I know I'm powerful. Knowing that in my right mind, but as much as I know I can boss up, I love Dr. J enough to say, look here, whatever I bring to the table, when you want access to it, you'll call for it.
Well, and then let me put some justice to this as well, is that sometimes, and I'll be honest with you and be frank, men sometimes we come in line. I mean, we present one thing. It's just that later on you find out. So most of the time through discernment that it don't start lining up. But by that time you're pregnant, or by that time you're vested. By that time, and the vested part is something that's, because I'm gonna be honest with you, when a person presents themselves and is good or whatever, and you do try to open yourself up and you do become vulnerable and you do give yourself.
Look here, I'm going to go to the great Pastor D. Pastor D, we have a spiritual question for you. I know you're kind of sitting in for the great bishop tonight and speaking spiritual truth. I've had women come to me and say, is it spiritual to literally keep the boots on? Like, does God hold me accountable for not taking them boots off? What does the word of God say?
From what, the book of D or the
Right?
okay. I don't think God holds us accountable for that, right? I think it's an expectation. If we're talking about from a spiritual standpoint, a marital relationship, I wear my Timberland heels, okay? Which is a combo boot, right? It's a heel and it's a boot. My husband has it. Should he not have it, I got it. I think that's my responsibility.
Got you. Okay. I guess, my question is to, or really statement to each of you, is it possible that there's nothing wrong with being strong? Maybe it's potential in a relationship. Maybe it's y'all presentation. Maybe it's the presentation of strength that really, the very strength that can hold things together can ultimately destroy.
Good.
Right? I think it's all in how you present it to an individual. Now, women are quick to say, well, men got egos. Well, I hear all of that, but just as a human being and us connecting together, I think women have a lot to say. I think that you have a lot to say that is correct to say. But I also think it's a poor way of sometimes how you say what you say. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen so many relationships go bad with two good people together, mishandling the power.
I agree.
The power of each other, the power of everything that makes you great. I want to make sure that we leave the segment knowing that I don't think women need to dummy down. I don't think you need to count your power as kryptonite. I don't think the power is the issue. I think there is women who holds power who is not mature enough to handle the power that they have.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And then I think we got powerful women that are strong who entrust that power with men who are still boys and incompetent, and how to nurture and how to appreciate that power.
I agree. Listen here, this is so hot. It is time for us to go to commercial. Dr. J, you have the privilege and the honor always to go to your Black Book, to your celebrity guest. And look here, I can't wait for you to introduce.
Guys, it's a hot one, man. Oh, Lunell, man, she's hot, guys. Listen, we're going to break out all the monotony. We're going to our Black Book guest, and I'm going to introduce a wonderful treat to you that's doing a great work, even amidst the pandemic, y'all. I got a special treat for you, so hold tight. We'll be right back.
Do you want to own your own restaurant but don't want to do it alone? Do you currently own a restaurant but you're struggling with keeping your doors open? United Franchise, the owners of the award-winning brands Sinorama, Transworld, Accurate Franchising, John Smith Subs with 1,600 locations in over 80 countries, has partnered with Celebrity Soul Food to open the fastest-growing Southern cuisine restaurant chain all around the world. New territories available in a city near you. We're now taking applications for franchise owners. Call now, 310-975-7131, or go to www.celebritiesoulfood.com. Call now, 310-975-7131, or go to www.celebritiesoulfood.com. Call now, 310-975-7131. Call me if you need someone to talk to. Call me. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call me. We want to know what's going on with you. What's the scoop? Taking it all across the world. We're going into Dr. J's Black Book. It's that time. Dr. J the counselor with his featured guest from his Black Book.
Family, this is your boy, Dr. J, and this is Do I Want to Stay Married, man? And we're dealing with a hot show. Guys, it's a hot one called Boots and Heels. And guys, you heard it, man. It's tied up in here. It's great. But guess I got a special treat for you today. An amazing, powerful young lady. Let me first say this right here. Now, she is considered the original bad girl of comedy, y'all. But don't get it twisted. She may be small in stature, but she big in personality. She has an infectious laughter. She's an amazing woman. She's a superwoman, y'all. And since we're talking about heels and boots tonight, let me tell you something. She wears them both. She knows how to put her stilettos on. And then she also knows how to put her boots on. Listen, she really needs no introduction, but she has appeared in the sequel, Power Book Ghost on Stars. She's appeared on various comedy specials, including with Cat Williams, American Hustle. She's appeared on Comedy After Dark, Comedy Central. She's been on movies like The Last OG. She's appeared in another Oscar-nominated film as A Star Is Born, Think Like a Man 2, Taken 2, Never Die Alone. Guys, she really needs no introduction, but she is the one and only my Black Book guest, Luenell, man. So I'm so glad to have you. How you doing, dear heart?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here tonight, my esteemed colleagues. And I want to just say that at this time in my life, those boots and stilettos are more like flip-flops and house shoes. I'm keeping it pretty close to the ground these days, honey. I had one knee surgery during this quarantine. I'm going to have the second one in about 2 weeks. So it's flip-flops and house shoes for me right now, but I can be fabulous in heels or on the ground.
Well, Lunell, question for you though. Some people and I follow on social media here at KJLH. We wanted to know more about your, even amidst the pandemic, you are literally bringing your comedy to YouTube. What are you doing there with your comedy, and even amidst the pandemic right now? What are you doing?
Well, it wasn't my idea, but my friend told me I should start a YouTube show, and I said, well, I ain't doing nothing else, so I might as well. And I haven't had a break from doing stand-up comedy this long in, over 25 years. There's never been a year in all that time where I didn't work, where they do that at, you know what I mean? We just don't do that. And so we had to stay relevant. And also it gave me a chance to express myself, which is why I do stand-up in the first place. And it's not always jokes and fun and kikiing and all that. I started this before the Ahmaud Arbery murder. I started this before George Floyd. I went through the whole revolution. I got a tattoo because Prince had the revolution. We went through all this, and I talked about all of this leading up to now, through the election, through everything on my YouTube channel.
Now, Lunell, let me tell you. Now, I know you had your little surgery and everything, and I know you said, well, I'm going to spray a little perfume here and there, but girl, now we got to give you a compliment because you was a part of something here, and I want people don't get it twisted with the sister now. You was with the Grammy Award-winning Rihanna. You literally tapped in. She literally made you a brand ambassador for her lingerie line, right? Now, talk to me about that now, sis. Come on now. You know what I mean? Because listen, that knee ain't keeping you down now. So what was that about? Mm-hmm.
Well, Rihanna's tour bus driver used to be a tour bus driver for me when I was on tour with Kat. He was my tour bus driver, and we remained friends for many years. So he was her tour bus driver all these months ago, and he called me late one night and was like, hey, we're just watching you on the tour bus. And he turned the phone and showed me the TV, and it was me from some comedy special I had done. And I'm like, well, we who? And he said, me and my client. And I said, well, who's your client? And then boom, Rihanna popped on the FaceTime, right? I'm like, oh my God, click. I told her that my daughter was a big fan of her makeup just before she had Fenty skin. And I said that, I said, that's some pretty cute little lingerie you got there too. I said, too bad you don't make that for big curvy girls like me. She said, I do. I said, you do? She said, yes, I do. I said, well, I want to be a lingerie model. And she said, let's make it happen. And we laughed and we kikied and got off the phone. I didn't think no more about it because I'm like, yeah, right. 2 days later, she hit me in my DMs and asked for my email. I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. Okay, I shot her my email. Boom, boom, boom. The contract started coming. You got to post twice a month. We're going to pay you this amount of money. You're going to be in the fashion show. I don't know. I was like, what? And so now, now I got this sack of lingerie sitting in front of me and they want me to take pictures in it, So it wasn't like I was doing it for Rainbow. This is Rihanna, So yes. I said, well, let me, try to twist it this way. And I got rules. I don't shoot from the front because, I don't want nobody to see my little belly and I don't want to ruin nobody's life. So I just give them a little breasts, a little booty, Try to show off the product. I'm just here to show off the product,
So, Lunell, you are actually, and it's actually getting ready to hit on Amazon, I think in the next day or two. You was a part of being on the sequel Coming to America, right? How was that? And that experience, and to even be doing the sequel. But how was that experience for you?
Well, first of all, it's on now.
Oh wow!
It's already dropped. People have already hit me and let me know they're watching it. How was it? It was like more than anything you could ever dream. 32 years ago. You don't think 32 years in the future. You don't even know if you're going to be alive 32 years in the future. You're young. So nobody was thinking about a sequel being made, let alone a sequel being made and you're in it. Like, who could dream that? You couldn't dream that. And with all them legends and doing, to your right, you got James Earl Jones, and to the left, you got John Amos, and to the right, you got Wesley Snipes, and the left, you got Arsenio and Eddie's over here, and, other people. And it was, the dancers was happy. The wardrobe was amazing. The hair was phenomenal. The sets was perfect. You're on Tyler Perry's studio where you're going to work every day and seeing Sidney Poitier soundstage and Halle Berry soundstage and Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee soundstage and Whoopi Goldberg soundstage. It was the blackest, most beautiful experience in film I've ever had in my life.
Wow. First of all, sis, I want to say this. No, that is amazing. One, we applaud you. Do you hear me loud and clear? We applaud you. I don't think that people recognize, that sometimes, because I'm listening to you and you're saying this was not planned, right? And sometimes life just blesses you. But this is what I want to ask you before we get ready to tell the people where to find you. You are doing amazing things in the midst of a crisis, right? What would you say to those that look up to you and aspire to be like you? How do you give hope to people that are coming and trying to survive this moment? You kind of recreated yourself, is what I heard you say. You became innovative. Kudos. But what do you say to your followers and people that need hope right now?
Well, I don't think you should do anything unless you feel like you would die if you don't do it. If you like to write on the wall, do murals. If you like to take stuff apart and put it back together again, invent something. If you loud, be a public speaker. Whatever that it is that you have in you, and if it's something that you love and you're passionate about, then just do it. Quit talking about it. Quit whining about it. Quit asking people for their advice. Because a real baller knows when you're doing a good job or not. You don't need to ask somebody for no advice. Now you just fishing for compliments and stuff, and that's weak.
That's touchdown, sis. This is what I want you to do. That was a touchdown. I want you to tell all of your fans, all of the country, and we thank you for being a part of this show today. Tell us how to find you.
Well, if you are no longer a member of the police department, you can find me on.
I'm sorry.
If you are now never been part of the police department, you can find me on Instagram at Luenell, at Luenell. Or you can also find me on Facebook, the official Luenell. Okay, I just spelled my name. And then on my website for merchandise and things like that and bookings and so on and so forth. That's just heylunell.com. I got a lot of clips on there and fun stuff that you can see on there and stuff like that. And my YouTube show that comes on every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called Hey Luenell, HeyLuenell.
Listen here, y'all heard it live from the one and only Lunell. Thank you for being a part of Dr. J, the counselor. Do I want to stay married on KGLH 102.3 all over the world? Dr. J, first of all, I want to say this to you. Thank you so much for giving us women this platform tonight to be able to speak our truths and to be able to get the word out and be honest and to be transparent. We hope that we have helped some woman out there today, but we can't do this without, and let's be clear, I absolutely love stilettos. They were going to put out my shoes behind me. I got heels, boots, but he buys them all, right? So it's whatever he want me to put on. Let's keep it real. But we have to have that moment, which is your uncensored moment, where you speak truth to power as we get ready to close out this amazing and dynamic show today. We're going to commercial. When we come back, you're going to hear from the host of this show, none other than Dr. J, the counselor.
Relationships Uncensored.
You need someone to be brutally honest with you.
Dr. J is getting ready to rip the Band-Aid off your relationship and deal with your wounds,
Your disappointments,
your thoughts.
and even your desire to just say quits with your relationship.
Stop lying to your kids.
Stop lying to your mate.
Stop lying to your church.
And more importantly, stop lying to yourself.
Dr. J says what he means.
But know this, he's Dr. J. So he means what he says.
It's that time for Relationships Uncensored.
Family, we're back. This is your boy, Dr. J, and this is my Relationship Uncensored. So I want to talk to all my married people, the people who messed it up and ain't married no more, but you want to be, and then those who are literally, man, single, maybe you're dating, or maybe you're in a serious relationship, or just women alone with your powerful selves. Just come here. My uncensored to you, from my heart to yours, from a good man who really loves you and loves a strong woman, is let me just give you a note to self. Okay, from a male perspective. Listen, a strong man in a relationship, the most of the time, and most men, we do not want to be wanted or desired. We don't. We could care less about whether you want us or desire us. That's not how we work. What we do want is we want to be needed. We want to be relevant. We want to feel like we have a place with you. That if in fact life happens and I was no longer there in your life, it's not that you couldn't have breath of life, but we just want you to cough a little bit so that you know that we was there. So that being said, my powerful women, understand this. Be careful in your presentation of your strength. Because sometimes if you ill-represent your strength, your independence, it makes it seems like it sends a message out that maybe you want a man, but you just don't need one. There's a difference. This is your boy, Dr. J, and this is my Relationship Uncensored. So, Lady J, our family, our team, man, boots or heels, this discussion, we have to have another one about it, man. There's so much to sort out with the shoes that people have to wear because of the many facets of life. Sierra, I thank you. Sheila, I thank you. Pastor D, I thank you. Lady J, as always, thank you. And to our wonderful fans and followers, man, keep tuning back in. Heels and boots tonight. Maybe you're wearing your heel. Maybe one is wearing your boots. We'll keep sorting it out and laugh, all right? I'll see you at the top. Be blessed, be well. And this has been Do I Want to Stay Married? Take care.
Dr. J.